So my wife and I just booked an Uber to do something very special. What is it? You'll find out. So the wife and I just got out of our Uber, and we're here in Arlington, I believe it's Arlington, yeah, at a place called Moore Memorial Gardens, and we're currently looking for where Dimebag is buried. So that's the special trip we were talking about today. So yeah, we're gonna figure out our way around here. I'm gonna shut the camera off for now. I don't want to disrespect the dead. So yeah, we'll be back.
Reverend, is this some conspiracy? Crucified for no sins, an image beneath me, lost within my plans for life. It all seems so unreal. I'm a man caught in half in this world, left in my misery.
So here it is, the grave of the late and extremely great Dimebag Darrell and his brother, Vinnie Paul. Seems they haven't laid down a headstone for him yet. And we also can't forget their mother, who, without her Pantera, Damage Plan, Rebel Meets Rebel, hell yeah, none of that ever would have been possible. I never thought that I would get to see the day that I would be here visiting my heroes. I mean, obviously, I have Dimebag in my arm. I've got several of his guitars at home. Pantera's gotten me through so much in my life. I had a whole big thing of what I wanted to say in my head on the way here, and currently at a loss for words, to be honest. This is not the way I wanted to meet my idols, but at the end of the day, this is where we all end up, unfortunately. And unfortunately, later tonight, I have to go back to work, so I can't sit here and enjoy a Blacktooth or play a few Pantera riffs because I don't have my guitar with me. But it's unreal. Get a good shot of it here. Now, one thing I do want to address, and I understand people come here to pay their respects and whatnot, but what bothers me is seeing all the carvings and engravings in such a beautiful headstone for such a beautiful person. Like, I get you want to leave your messages, and I get that this is an emotional place to be, as it is for me. But please, anybody watching this video, if you do visit, please respect. You wouldn't want somebody marking up your tombstone, especially not if you ended up in here in such a tragic way. I'm gonna cut the video and enjoy my time. Thank you for watching. One thing I would like to add, something I did think about saying on my way here, is something I was thinking about, you know, other than the obvious rock royalty that's here. Just thinking about the amount of heavy metal and rock royalty have been standing in this very spot. It's unreal to think about. I remember the night that this unfortunate circumstance happened. I was in 8th grade, staying up way past my bedtime. 94.7 used to be the zone in Chicago, and after hours they would play metal. And well, they cut the broadcast with breaking news that Dime had been shot, and I didn't believe it. Stood up the whole night crying after I heard about that. Didn't believe that it could be true. They played it again about a half an hour later. Went to school the next day, and a good friend of mine, I told him about it, because he loved Dime just as much as I do. And he cursed me out. He told me, "That's not funny, don't joke about that." And the next day he came to school, this being 2 days later after, and man, we both just sat and tried not to cry, because, you know, the rest of the school wouldn't have understood. You know, we were the outcast metal kids, the weird kids, and Dime's music and Vinnie's music, they made us feel like we weren't the weird kids. I mean, you didn't get any heavier than that man's riffs, and you still don't. And you didn't get any heavier and crushing than that man's drum patterns, and you still don't. I don't care what you say. Would you like to say anything?
I'm at a loss for words, honestly. I'm just so thankful to even be here, you know, visiting, and it's heartbreaking seeing this, but, you know, like you said, we all end up here someday. That's all.
Yeah, my wife here, if you couldn't tell, is a massive Type O fan, and anybody that's anybody knows that Dime and Pantera and the Type O guys were good friends. So my wife is not only, you know, here for Dimebag, but here for the fact that Peter Steele has stood in this spot. And eventually we're going to have to travel to the Sodom and Gomorrah that is New York City to visit and pay tribute to Peter Steele too. But yeah, I'm going to continue about my business here, and we're probably going to leave soon because it's hot. Want to have some alone time with Dime. Get myself some Dime time, as they call it. I got to get you pull, and then I got to get back to the truck so I can roll with it or get rolled over. And when I get home on home time, I'm going to drink it or wear it. Get your pull. Thanks for watching.